The streets of the centrum of the Dutch city Utrecht are changing weekly. A new stone is added each time, engraved with a single letter. Together, these letters form a poem. This has already been going on since the year 2012 and will never end unless people stop supporting the project. It is called the Letters of Utrecht. On the 2nd of June of the year 2012, the mayor of Utrecht announced the first part of this poem. A stone engraved with the next letter of this poem would be added to the street each Saturday. The row of letters in the street is now around 100 meters long and includes more than 1,000 engraved stones. But what do these letters actually mean? Well, as you know now, the letters on these stones form a poem. The verses formed by these letters are decided by a different poet from the Utrecht City Poet Guild every few years. It consists of professional poets who live in a radius of 10 kilometers from the Dom Cathedral, the biggest church tower of the Netherlands, located at the center of Utrecht. Only 14 members are allowed in the guild at a time. If you're interested in reading this poem, the description of this video contains a link to a version translated to English. The idea originated from a conversation between poet Ingmar Heitze and entrepreneur Michael Munker. It is inspired by various projects from all over the world, one of them being London's Clock of the Long Now, also known as the 10,000 year clock, which is a mechanical clock under construction designed to keep time for 10,000 years. The Long Now Foundation has also donated to the Letters of Utrecht and even sent a stone to the site of their project to be engraved and placed in the street. To support the project, people can sponsor a to-be engraved stone. This costs 100 euros, which makes it accessible to the general public. Almost every stone is backed by a sponsor. On the website of the project, you can choose a letter or punctuation mark and filter by poet. You can see all the available places at which this letter or punctuation mark appears in the poem, so you can choose the one that you prefer. It is also good to note that a small percentage of the amount donated will go to charity. It seems that at the time of recording, quite a lot of sponsored stones have yet to be placed, as I would have to wait 53 weeks before my stone would be engraved and placed in the Oude Gracht if I were to sponsor one. I thought it would be interesting to see what kind of people this project attracts. The list of sponsors mostly consists of individuals celebrating something and dedicating a stone to it as a commemorative gift. At first, I thought a lot more companies would be sponsoring letters, but I guess it's not a great PR move, as the only way people can find out that you sponsored a stone is by reading the weekly blog post. As long as there are enough individuals wanting to sponsor a letter, I think this works in favor of the project, as it keeps the cause pure and honest. So the new stones are engraved every Saturday. A real stonemason from the Utrecht Stonemasons Guild letter time takes the to-be engraved stone out of the street, engraves it on the spot before placing it back in. This all happens between 1 and 2 o'clock. The serifs on the front of the letter refer to the manual method of carving. The triangular serifs are not in every place you would expect them to be. There's only a maximum of 1 per letter. This way, the letters don't become too classic and they acquire an individuality that is special to the Letters of Utrecht. The letters also have the same width in all places and they do not have any fragile edges or lines. This makes it easier to engrave. Apart from the big letter on the top side of the stone, a message chosen by the sponsor is also engraved on the side. It's not visible once the stone is in the street, but it's definitely a nice thought. This message is then also included on the weekly blog post on the Letters of Utrecht website. Something interesting I read about is that in 2014, people noticed that the letters W, I, and M were suddenly missing. Someone took them right out of the street. Together, these form Wim, a common Dutch name, which indicates that the stones may have been stolen for someone called Wim. This is obviously really sad, and as to quote the blog post on the Letters of Utrecht website, loose in a garden or on a drawer, these stones may appear massive, but spiritually they will reverberate with emptiness. Since it can take a long time before the people who stole the stones are found, for now the holes in the ground were filled with newly engraved stones. The project, however, will go on for eternity. It was really cool being able to see the engraving process in person. Maybe one day I will sponsor a letter myself. If you found this interesting, please stay tuned for more videos by subscribing.